You may have heard someone say that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I think that certainly can be the case. But I also think it doesn't always have to be the case. And I think there is a way for you to tell the difference between when it is and when it isn't. And I think that's important. But more importantly, there is a why to tell the difference. Today, I'm going to show you how. I'm Brock Carlisle, a pastor and a licensed counselor, and this is Whiteboard Wednesday. Let's be honest, the trajectory of our lives is typically set in a direction of the things at which we're naturally good. So, what that means is that if I'm good at something, I may not have to have a plan to be able to show up and do that at an acceptable level. And if I'm really skilled, maybe even at a level that's good. But good never becomes great unless you get good at making a plan. Here's why we need to be able to tell the difference between when I need a plan and when I don't need a plan. If all I ever do is the things that I'm good at and I just don't make plans because I can wing it and it's good enough, then when something comes at me that kind of blindsides me or that happens from some direction that I'm not experienced in, or maybe something that I'm not as good at, well, if I'm not in the habit of making a plan, then I fail miserably in that area. And we can get fooled into this false sense of belief that, hey, I'm good at what I do and I don't need to make a plan. I can wing it and it's acceptable. It's even good. But all kinds of studies show that if you will make a plan before you do whatever it is that you're going to do, your chances of success grow exponentially, whether that's something that you're naturally good at or something that you're not good at. And if you're in the habit of making plans, then when something comes at you that you're not necessarily as skilled at, because of your habit of making a plan, you're much better equipped to face that and be successful, even in the areas where you're not normally or naturally as gifted. So here's how you make a plan. The thing that we want to do is we want to think of plan making in terms of concentric circles. Another term for concentric circles would be like a target or a bullseye target. Now, the bullseye, this is your goal. Your goal can be anything that you want it to be. It can be, I want to learn a new skill, learn a new trade. I want to learn how to be a better public speaker. I want to learn a new language. I want to learn how to bake, whatever it can be. Or the goal can be, I have an event that I'm hosting that I need to prepare for. The goal could be, I've got a deadline at work. The goal could be, I want a certain dollar amount in my savings account. Whatever the goal is, you want to start with the goal. Now, typically, when you're thinking in terms of plans, you go from the outside in. But the best way to make a plan is to work from the inside out. If you will begin with the end in mind, start the planning with the end in mind, and then work backwards, it's a much easier way to make a plan. So I'm going to show you how. So if this goal is an event that you have scheduled that you know you need to work on, if you set the when, you set the what, and you kind of plan all that, then you can go out into the next rung and say, okay, if this is my event, when do I need to order the supplies? When do I need to start advertising the event? And if I'm going to advertise, when do I need to get the materials to the graphic design team so they can design the advertising? And by using this as the end, as our beginning, we're actually working a timeline back to say, by this date, I need to do this, and whatever this is and whatever that date is, and then you can work back in. So when you start with the end as the beginning, what you'll find is that your plan sort of writes itself just based on necessity. So if I need to do this, but I need to do this first, and I need to do this first, then what this does is the necessity of your end goal actually writes the plan for you. So if the goal is financial, well, what do I need to do before I can do that? If I want to have X number of dollars in the bank, what debt do I need to pay down before I can do that? Where do I need to stop spending money frivolously? How much can I save per paycheck in order to achieve that? If this is a deadline at work, what are the things that I have to do to work towards that? So begin with the end work backwards. And when you do that, your plan writes itself. And like I said before, when you make a plan, you're exponentially more likely to succeed.